Hello, I'm back. I take a little break to let my computer charge, and I went out and worked in my garden. Right now I have potatoes and tomatoes growing. I had to put some uh, old single-serve bottles that I had put holes in and buried them in the ground so I can water directly into those. And when it rains, they can fill up and seep out into the ground slowly. And put banana water around the bottoms of the plants because that's supposed to be really good for them. So took care of that. Now I'm back. So I'm going to talk about H.R. 1263, Strengthening the Quad Act. This comes to us from Greg Meeks, who's a Democrat out of New York. And I had to look up what the Quad was because I had no idea. I'd never heard of it, or if I did, I don't remember it because when it all started, I was busy raising children. So, I had other things going on. So, the Quad is a maritime cooperation between US, India, Australia, and Japan. And so it began in 2004 after the Indian Ocean tsunami that killed 227,000 people, and it devastated more than 14 countries. So the countries, they're all democracies. They decide to come together and work together to be able to take care of things like that in that area. It's not a formal alliance. It's just kind of a little informal grouping right now. Uh, in November of 2020, there was the first joint exercise between them in over a decade. And I think a decade ago when they did it, it was just us and Japan, if I remember correctly. And so they had a joint exercise that was under Trump. That was right at the tail end of uh, Trump's term. Trump 1.0. So as of 2020, they've become more concerned about China's aggressive behavior in the area. And so they feel like they need to do more. So March of 2021, Biden has the first ever actual meeting of the heads of all the countries. So it's himself and the prime ministers of the other three countries. They had a Zoom call because it was 2021 and it was still March 2021. We were still working on getting rid of COVID. So they had a Zoom call. You saw a picture. It was kind of cool. Big screens of all the different guys, and Biden's sitting there in a big room by himself so he can be on camera. It was kind of cool looking. I'm sorry. Don't mean to go off on a tangent. So I tried to get more information about that meeting, but I couldn't because the current regime has taken information down about the meeting. Yeah, there's nothing on the White House webpage. It says this page is not found or some bullshit like that, which I found on a lot of websites that maybe they don't want you to get information for. It just says webpage not found, whatever. Yeah, you can't even trust the government websites anymore because they have messed with everything. So at that meeting, they discussed COVID vaccines, climate change, technological innovations, and supply chain resilience. Those are the things that they felt were really important as of January 2021. So this one calls for us to work harder towards building a relationship and maybe building an actual official alliance with these four countries. And they want us to work on the economic growth and development of all the countries, building up our tech, talking about energy, climate change, infrastructure, education, disaster management, supply chain issues, including critical minerals, because that's one of the big things for us, and global health security. We don't want another COVID, so they want to work on that. It's showing it's having strong bipartisan support, so it's probably going to be pretty easy to pass. hard to believe the current regime would want this, given that it's going to piss off China. But I mean, it's good for us. I think it's good for us, and I think it's great um, that it's bipartisan. So it shows they actually can come together and work on some things. We don't always hear about it because the press, if it bleeds, it leads. So when they fight, we hear about it. When they get along, we don't. So thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please hit the like, subscribe, share. Like I said before, it hurts my brain to know this information and not be able to share this information with other people. Literally hurts. So have a day that matters. Thanks.